Hi there guys, and welcome to the Watch channel. So I did a video yesterday that some of you may have seen talking about an experience that I witnessed outside the Rolex store in Sydney. I went to bed last night as per usual, saw there was a few views on it and a couple of comments. Woke up this morning and there was a ton of comments and across both Reddit and also YouTube. So you know, that was really pleasing to see, because one of the reasons for doing this channel, aside from being able to show people watches in the flesh, so to speak, was also to create some sort of commentary and discussion about, you know, this hobby that we all love. And like I say, I thought it might be cool to highlight some of the comments that have come across both on Reddit and YouTube and just reply to them. It isn't about trying to create you know, an argument or anything like that. I just thought it would be pretty cool, because I haven't seen many people do it on YouTube, just respond back to comments that have been put back on the channel. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. So the first comment was from Rob Lyon, and this was on the YouTube channel. It says, happily, not all Rolex ADs are like that. Maybe you could have tried to enter the shop to see if it was just that particular person that was not welcome. My experience has been very different to that. Great video, thanks. Thank you for the, you know, compliment. And you know what, I agree with you, mate. I'm pretty sure, and I'm absolutely sure, that it's a one-off experience. I think the you know, the thing was, though, for me as a witness or a consumer or somebody that's interested in watches, you know, it's statistically invalid, but I witnessed it and it was like, you know, that's not very nice. I did think about going in, but it just put me off. And that's something that, you know, Rolex probably don't give a toss, because, you know, the watches are in such high demand. But that was the thing. It wasn't just that person's experience that put that person off. It was me as well. I was like, you know what? Even if I had the money with that kind of attitude, I'll just go somewhere else. Now, there are people out there, you know, so what? You know, who cares? But like I say, yeah, for me it was, you know, just a bit off-putting. So thanks, Rob. Okay, so the next comment comes from T-Mac. This was YouTube, and his comment is, you're really mixing topics here. The popular Rolex watches are simply not available, so why allow browsers into the store? There's nothing for them to buy. Although my personal experience at ADs has always been great, and I've never been asked about or had to establish a purchase history, although I've heard it happens, which explains why the greys are doing so well. Besides, you simply aren't the target market. Your last 45 videos or so skewed heavily towards Seiko and Casio. I don't think you've done a Rolex focus video in, well, ever. Are you going to complain about sport bras next? Well, you know what, mate? I've got a bit of timber, but I don't like sport. Well, I do like sport, but I'm not great at playing it due to the titties. So I'm not going to complain about sport bras, mate. But no, seriously, T-Mac, again, thank you for posting your comment. Where do we start? Why allow browsers into the store? Well, you know what? Why have a store? Why bother? You know, there was stock in the windows, so somebody who is looking at a watch would go, hey, they've got stock, I want to go in. And when you go to the door and the guard just opens it and doesn't like the look of you or the smell of you or whatever, you know, again, it's about the experience, and that was a shitty experience. So, you know, I don't really know what to say there. I'm sure your experience has been great. I'm sure for the majority of people it's great. But like I say, you know, why allow browsers into the store? It's a store, so you should be allowed to go in. The last comment there, which is, you know, your last 45 videos or so skewed towards Seiko and Casio. I don't think I've done many Casio videos. I've done Citizen, so you may be getting confused there. But the first part of it, besides you simply aren't the target market, I'm trying to understand the relevance of that, T-Mac, because from my perspective, if I was in the market, it's a shit experience. And if I wasn't in the market, which I was hanging around the store and looking, so I could be in the market, the assumption that I should be treated like shit, i.e. that person, is still not acceptable. Okay, next comment from Mr. S1. I think this is YouTube as well. It says, very disappointed with Rolex. Lifelong dream to get a Rolex. I managed to get 2 over 3 years. However, their insulting customer service has turned me off. I've now turned to other brands like Zenith, Grand Seiko, IWC and Cartier, all of which are available with a luxury experience. I shouldn't have to beg a company to provide goods I'm paying for. The Rolex hype will not die down due to the prices and resale values. However, I also like going to a party and wearing more discreet luxury. Mr. S1, Yeah, absolutely. I think there's something pretty cool about wearing a Grand Seiko, and I've had Grand Seikos, and I've told people this story many times. Putting a Grand Seiko on, and somebody came up and said, "Oh, you're into your watches. Why are you wearing a Seiko?" And it was just like, it's just, yeah, it just felt like it. I like it, And for those in the know, they know. For those that aren't in the know, so what? I don't wear my watches to try and impress people. I wear them because I like them. And mate, I think we're both very similar in that regard. Anyway, thanks for your comment, mate. Okay, so the next comment comes from Reddit, from Satanic Majesty. Brilliant username there. I'm going to try and paraphrase here, but basically the gist of it is Satanic Majesty has a few friends with large watch collections. He asked if they had a contact at a Rolex authorised dealer, and they did. So he called up, made an appointment, and went in. Now, to cut a long story short, the Satanic Majesty decided that he was after a Daytona. A lot of people are, and was basically treated to, or from what I'm reading here, an interrogation. The sales rep looking through Facebook profiles, essentially calling him a liar when he mentioned, he'd got friends that had purchased them from that store and so on and so forth. So it's probably more of an extreme experience, and certainly not as intrusive and rude as what I saw at the Sydney store. But again, you get these comments from people, and admittedly taken with a grain of salt, but I'm sure there is some truth to this. Sales associates who are supposed to be serving you and providing you with a luxury experience that befits the brand of Rolex, in this case, and you just end up being treated like filth. Not acceptable in any way, shape or form. Anyway, Satanic Majesty, again, thank you for your comments. Okay, this comment comes from Horse Snort on Reddit. And I've blacked out the name of the retailer, but essentially Horse Snort regales us with a story where they are well aware of a retail store selling the Rolexes well above manufacturing retail price. Apparently they do it specifically to Chinese customers and clients that previously have been part of a tour group, and the tour guide pulls them through, and there must be some kind of arrangement where they're paying over the odds for models. Again, regardless of whether you're Chinese, European, Sudanese, Bengalese, whateverese, I think the point here is that the insinuation is that authorised dealers are also running a side market that doesn't benefit the regular consumer, and they have preferential agreements to sell these to tourists that obviously have a lot of expendable cash. And are willing to, trade or horse trade or deal under the counter, so to speak. The last comment there was that, they wasn't too sure as to whether this was real, so actually sent a message on WeChat to the rep at one of these dealerships and said, "Hey, look, can you get me one of these?" And the response back was, "Yes, for 70 grand, I can get you one." And that's pretty disturbing. Anyway, Horse Snort, thank you very much for providing us with that insight, and hopefully see you in a video soon, mate. Okay, another comment from Reddit, Thunder5, and I love this one. Rolex is like that relatively hot girl in high school who played hard to get. Some boys going wild for her. Although lack of personality and not much to show for, some boys will still be chasing her tail. But this girl just never stops playing hard to get, and we're just sick of her shit and then move on to better things. I just thought that was very funny, so good on you. Another comment from Bearguard, this time on Reddit, and again paraphrasing, basically was looking to purchase a first luxury watch. Was looking at Omega and Rolex and decided to go and visit the boutiques. To cut a long story short, went into the Rolex store, He says, I felt like I didn't belong, and both of them were such luxurious purchases, I felt like I didn't deserve them. When I visited the Rolex boutique, they were cold and callous, didn't even greet me or my 2-year-old son when we walked in, and then gave me 1 or 2 word answers to each question. The Omega boutique couldn't have been more opposite. Each of the associates in the store immediately struck up conversation to find out my interests and treated my son and I to snacks and drinks. They let me browse the store for 2 hours, trying on anything I wanted. Again, you know, you get good experience, you get bad experiences, but I think that's really, it wasn't necessarily the experience that concerned me or I want to comment on. It's actually the fact that Bear God says this, I went to the mall and was nervous to go into both stores because I felt like I didn't belong. Now I can sort of understand that, you know, you're going in and you're thinking about dropping a significant amount of money on a watch, but you should not have that nervousness exasperated by the sales associates or the retail experience. If anything, you know, it should be a case of going, there's no need to be nervous, there's no pressure to buy here. We understand this is a luxury purchase. We're here to help you and help you understand more about the models so that you can make an informed decision and provide you with a pleasant, memorable experience. And regardless whether it's Rolex or Omega or anybody, you know, when you're putting down significant coin into something, then you should be, you know, given a true memorable experience. Anyway, Bear God, thank you for your comments. Okay, so another comment from Reddit, I think here, just me again. So your point is they refused to let someone in that they didn't feel comfortable with. I don't know how it is down under, but in the US, people are doing smash and grab robberies all the time. The store has a right to not allow in someone they don't feel belongs there. Yeah, look, you know, I agree and disagree. So down under here in Australia, we're a little bit different to you guys. I'm sure there is crime, but we don't see smash and grabs too often. Certainly, you know, you're not going to, see the level of violence that you typically do in the States over here. That's for sure. Regardless, I think, you know, the other component is not allowing somebody in they don't feel belongs in there. Yeah, you know what, if it's a tramp and he's got piss stains down his trousers or he looks, you know, filthy, then absolutely I can understand, look, you know, sir, could you, you know, I don't even know how you say it, but, you know, refuse entry, that's fine. But there's no need to be rude about it either. This guy wasn't dirty, he wasn't looking dodgy. Who are they to decide who doesn't come in? Putting aside poor hygiene, I can understand. But just because somebody's dressed a different way, it shouldn't mean that they're refused entry. Okay, another one from Reddit, and this one's, it's got brackets, says deleted, so I don't know whether that's their user tag or name, but deleted. Do you have pictures of watches on your wall? LOL, and are they Rolex? Can't really tell. Absolutely they are. Well, one is, this is a Sea Dweller, and this is a Seiko SKX, and you probably can't get any further away in terms of pricing and prestige. So yes, mate, I do. So, Sea Dweller, SKX. SKX, what, say 250, 300 bucks if you can find one. Sea Dweller, oh Christ knows, who cares? Tens of thousands. Shoulder Big 5412, another Reddit comment. I was at the Wailea store a couple of months ago, and the sales associate essentially laughed at me for even asking about a Sky Dweller for my buddy. She told me Rolex really won't even let you buy that as a first watch and encouraged me to buy jewellery as a gift to build a relationship. I think the point here is that, or for me, or what I wanted to comment back on was the encouraged me to buy jewellery as a gift to build a relationship. That's not building a relationship, and Shoulder Big 5412, I feel for you, mate. You know, that's not building a relationship, that's a bribe, almost. You know, hey, buy this piece of jewellery and I'll put you on a waiting list. These types of things just make me, you know, annoyed for people's, just for people, full stop, because you shouldn't be treated like that, and you certainly shouldn't have to buy jewellery to be able to get something that you actually went in to buy. You either get it or you don't, and hopefully either way with good service. Anyway, Shoulder Big 5412, thank you very much for your comment. And the last comment was from Just Run Amok on Reddit, and essentially went into a luxury shop in London to show my partner watches I was considering before my 30th. Had exactly the same experience. I was in joggers and a hoodie, followed around by 2 guards whilst I looked through Rolex, Omega, IWC, and they originally wouldn't even let me in the door. My partner wanted to leave because the guards made her feel so uncomfortable. We bought from another supplier as a result. Just run amok. Yeah, what'd you say, mate? You know, just because you're wearing hoodies and a jogger, and regardless of whether that was the case or not, your perception was that because you were dressed like that, that was the way that you were treated. Again, a common theme here. Again, I know that it's not every single person that has this experience, but the fact that somebody has this experience is still unacceptable for a luxury brand to be accepting of that behaviour by their resellers. Every single person that purchases a watch that's over, 5,000, well, you know what, buys anything, should just be treated with respect and have a nice experience. So just run amok. I hope that you got the watch of your dreams for your 30th. If you haven't had your birthday, happy birthday when you are 30. If you have, happy belated birthday wishes, mate. Thank you very much. Okay, guys, so that's some responses to comments by and large. It's not everybody that took the time to respond. So if you haven't been mentioned, thank you so much. If you have liked this video and you want me to do more response type videos, then please do let me know in the comment section. If you do like what you're seeing on the channel, please do consider subscribing. It'd be greatly appreciated. Other than that, guys, I will leave you be. I hope you have a nice whatever's left of Saturday evening over there in the States, and for those of us on this side of the pond, have a great Sunday, even though it's absolutely peeing it down here. All right, guys, thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.